Good evening. I'm here in Huron, which is on the southern shore of Lake Erie, and I cycled here today from Bowling Green. So not too long a day, probably 65 miles I suppose, but a warm, hot, close and clammy day. And again, I'm in a fairly budget Motel 6. We've got the railway line over there and the freeway over there, and it's just the way it is. It's cheap, it's cheerful, it's clean, it does the job. So I've had to make a few decisions, and as I sat and had my Mexican meal today, a margarita to start with, and then a selection of Mexican bits and pieces which, to be honest with you, all taste pretty much the same, and a Dos Equis, a 2X's beer. I get fed up of Corona. Corona's a bit light for me. Anyway, as I sat there having that, I thought, there's no point in just going all the way up around Lake Erie, and then, which takes me quite a ways north up to Buffalo and then all the way back down. What I'll do is I'll cut across from halfway along Lake Erie and cut into Pennsylvania and go a more direct route to New York. And the advantage of that, it'll take me through some pretty nice Pennsylvanian countryside, and also I think it'll take me near some of the Civil War battle sites, which would interest me. So I think I'm going to do that, and that'll shave off a few hundred miles as well, and will probably get me home a bit quicker. I'm keen to get home. I'm tired. I'm physically tired. It takes it out of you, this does, day after day after day. And I'm kind of tired, just sort of being here. I want to get home. Somebody asked me today, I met a couple of cyclists on one of the who were going in the opposite direction, because I joined today the Northern Trail route, and I came across 3 cyclists, a German first of all, who was on a 4-month trip from Nova Scotia all the way down, I think he's going down to Los Angeles or somewhere like that, civil engineer, young fella, and he from Berlin, and he'd given up his job for 4 months, says he'll be able to go back to it, and he's meandering his way across there. And then I met an English girl, and I think he was an American, and the American guy said, "How's your trip been?" And I found myself saying, well, it's been nice in parts. I've met some really quite nice people, but they've been in a minority, to be honest with you. And the countryside's wonderful, and the landscapes are wonderful, the topography, geography, all that sort of stuff, particularly out west, it's beautiful. But, America and Americans, I think I've had my fill of. They're a bit loud, sometimes a bit gross, sometimes a bit ignorant. Things are big and brash and blousy, and it's almost a bit like watching an episode of Roseanne, who I think is on furlough at the moment because of some naughty comments that she made about, I don't know what about, but about something or other. That kind of American TV program, it's almost as though they live out those kind of extreme, loud American TV programs, and it gets a bit wearing after a while. And then there's a Trump issue, and don't underestimate that, because his character, his tactics, his techniques, it'll do damage to this country. I mean, reluctance to face the truth, to be honest, to even acknowledge the truth, that'll seep down into the popular mind, popular culture, and that'll do real substantial damage to this country. That kind of, also that argumentativeness, that sort of vitriolic, polemical take on everything, undermining people, the narcissism in him as well, and the it's all about me, it's almost like a TV show. That seeps down into the way people live their lives, I think, and you see it every day. So it's not my most favourite place, I have to say. and I say that sparingly, because I've met some lovely people, and but they are the exceptions in my experience as I've passed through this particular strand of America. And I'm very grateful for the generosity and the kindness that they showed me, but I'm kind of a bit tired and I just want to get home now, so I'm going to make it fairly direct and not hang around too long. So there we are. I made a friend at the Motel 6, Chastity. She's the girl on the counter, rather large girl. Chastity, you'd think it was some Nigerian, they're all called Chastity or Welcome or Innocent or Hyacinth, or no, Hyacinth is West Indian, isn't it? But they've all got those sort of, or Sunday, all those sorts of names. But anyway, if she's on the desk, poor thing, she has to do the laundry as well. And eventually I got her to smile. She was pretty miserable to start with. I couldn't get a please or a thank you of her, but I worked my charm, and she's smiling at me now. Anyway, hope everything's okay with you guys, and I'm beginning to sound like an American, aren't I? Everything all right with you guys? And hope you have a good day. Bye.